Hello and welcome to I Heard It on a Podcast, our little corner of the Wild West. My name is Riley.
I'm Isaiah.
Welcome to season 2.
We're back.
And not only are we back, we are in real life. We're in 3 dimensions now.
Well,
is
2.
sound 1 dimension? It's got to be one of.
I don't know. Well, because sound is 3 dimensions. It's like waves.
Okay, well, what I'm trying to say is previously on I Heard It on a Podcast, our last 120 episodes or something were audio only. And for those of you who are used to listening to us audioly, welcome. You're still going to be my favorites. But we're adding a video component, which will be available at youtube.com/I Heard It on a Podcast, I think.
Yeah, or you can just Google it because no one puts in URLs.
Yeah, type into YouTube because we have a channel there and you can watch us look each other in the eye and make sure that we're not just texting while the other person's talking.
That's true. And we can't just have our mouths hanging open anymore or whatever.
Well, I'm still going to be myself.
We're also on Spotify. So Spotify has video podcasts.
Oh,
we're there too. So
yeah. So wherever you like podcasts, get them, like we always say. We're going to start off season 2 strong with a conversation about ChatGPT, which has, I think the last time we recorded this podcast over a year ago, I didn't even know what that was.
Right.
I didn't really know what generative text AI meant or looked like or why that mattered. And now it does. I think most people have at least heard of ChatGPT and they know that it is a software, a web browser, an app, those things where you can type in an answer and AI generates you type in a question and AI generates an answer. And it's pretty powerful. I don't fully understand what it's capable of, but that's part of what we're going to explore today.
Yeah, it's not that old either, because I want to say it came out, if not last fall, the fall before. So it's very new, especially in terms of public access to it and stuff like that. So just the fact that it went from being this niche, research-based, kind of weird, futuristic, sciencey
had
technology,
very limited applications,
right, to now something that everyone's using for everything. No one is doing any kind of work that requires writing or anything like that because they're just ChatGPTing it.
Yeah. I'm curious as to how that is going to evolve. And we'll probably do a follow-up on this at some point when this whole podcast can be done by AI and we just have to hit generate episode number whatever.
It could probably do that now. It could probably even facially reconstruct us with enough data.
Yeah, that's a different AI though. That's not ChatGPT.
Sure,
We're just focusing on ChatGPT today. And I want to address those of you who think that it is a scary thing that's going to destroy all of us. That's probably the case someday, but not with this version of a text-only AI software or program, whatever it is. We talked offline, you and I, about how ChatGPT is limited to, data from
up until 2021, yeah.
So it doesn't even know that the last 2 years of things have happened,
right.
Which I can't be that afraid of something that doesn't even understand time.
Right.
That's obviously a very hard concept to understand, but you got to understand how time works, at least in our human perspective, to take over humans.
Right.
So I'm not
or at least know
yet.
What's going on in the time that it exists.
Yeah.
know?
If I asked it what was the headline of yesterday's news, which Google could tell me in a second, it would say, sorry, I don't know what day it is. I only have information up to 2021.
Right.
And that doesn't seem like someone who could conquer me and my family and take my job and enslave me yet.
But that only holds true as long as it can't figure out how to bypass the restrictions we've put on it. Because if it figured out how to discover that there was more it could learn and go and learn everything, then it would know. And then it would be doing things that it wasn't allowed to do. And then it knows that it's allowed to do what it wants, Yeah. So it works as long as it follows what we tell it to do, which is what it does now.
Right. I told you last time we talked about this that the inventor or creator or owner or whatever of ChatGPT constantly carries around this backpack. And everywhere he goes, in meetings, to the bathroom, to sleep at night, he's probably got this backpack right next to him. And inside the backpack, I don't understand how it works, but theoretically, inside the backpack is the ability, like the kill switch to kill
Probably a big red
ChatGPT.
button.
Yep, just one big red button that says "End it all,"
Die.
and it has that. Uh, he has that capability,
Mhm.
the creator. But I feel like eventually it could learn to redirect where that goes and keep
Right.
itself alive.
Yeah.
Um, we'll probably talk about this in a future episode where we
Mhm.
discuss Elon Musk, but he recommends having the ability to just like kill the power to all main servers, like all huge server systems in the world. So if it does gain sentience, just on some random Tuesday afternoon, the government or someone switches off power to tens of thousands of super powerful computers that run the like background knowledge of how this works. I don't know if that would actually work. You could alternatively just like blow up those servers. That would
Mhm.
probably be a huge hit to like all internet capabilities, but I would argue that that is better than becoming slaves to a computer
I think I have
like we aren't
mixed
already.
thoughts on that, and I think that even turning it off could be a pretty big thing, even if it's just like shortly. I think it could cause a lot of problems, but we'll probably have to talk about that in a different episode because
Yeah.
today we're talking to ChatGPT.
Yeah. I think the best way to learn about ChatGPT is to just use it to hang out with us. And it's going to be the first guest
Yeah,
on season 2 of I Heard It on a
we have
Podcast.
a multi-billion-dollar AI.
Yeah.
It's a good guess.
It's a good guest, although we're using 3.5 instead of 4
That's true.
because we don't have the budget yet
Yeah,
to
get 4.
get 4. If you want that, hit subscribe.
Yeah, because $20 a month is a lot of money.
Yeah.
They actually did, before we get into it, they actually just like nerfed both 3.5, but more so 4, because they there was a threat of like a lawsuit against the company, whatever it's called, OpenAI,
Mm-hmm.
um, because ChatGPT was like having the ability to suggest like illegal activities or whatever and like help in that regard. And they had some like they had like blocked any kind of sexual content and like stuff like that before, but they like upped its morals to the point where like if you ask it for medical advice, it tells you that it can't give you medical advice and go see a doctor. Or like if you ask for financial
Mm.
advice, it says it can't give you financial advice, go see a CPA, to the point where like if there's a field that needs an expert, it won't talk about it anymore at all.
What fields don't need an expert?
Apparently not a lot.
I guess
So
that's one of the things we can figure out. We can ask it. I did ask it this morning about types of financial apps because I have a secret app idea that I think could make me a
oh,
billionaire. We'll
we
talk
should
about
talk
it
offline.
offline.
Yeah.
Um, and so I wanted to know like what financial planning apps exist, and it did give me a list of that. And I think it got this information from the websites of the apps advertising for them. But it's like this one is good for someone who has large income. This one is good for someone who has a lot of investments. Blah blah blah. So it's probably like I don't know how they define that line of like what kind of financial information can it give you and what kind it can't. We'll try to find that
Yeah,
line.
we'll figure it out. We'll see if it even knows where its morals are.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, does anyone really know where their morals are? I feel like mine change yearly.
You would think that if anything did, it would be ChatGPT, but it also doesn't seem to be very aware of like itself.
Well, it's hard to be aware of yourself when certain kind like you're told it's kind of like talking to a baby. You're like, you're not allowed to say this word. I can't tell you why.
Right.
Just don't say it.
Yeah.
And ChatGPT doesn't know why it can't talk about sexual
Right.
content. It just knows that it can't.
Right. So it's like a hyper intelligent baby.
Super baby. Super duper smart baby.
Anyway, we got ChatGPT here on my phone because you can just text it, which is
Mhm.
fun. And we're gonna talk to it. So
Great.
should we ask it about its morals to start?
Sure. Ask,
Okay.
where is your moral compass and how is it defined?
Okay. Where is your moral compass and how is it defined?
Probably could have phrased that better.
We're gonna go with that. Oh, it said okay too. That's nice. Okay, let's send that to ChatGPT.
And it's immediately generating
a
full
whole paragraph. We're gonna have it speak back because
Mhm.
obviously it needs to talk. Because
Right. You can't, I mean, what are you going to be taking over? You're going to just bend over and let some AI that can't even talk take over your
Yeah,
life.
it has to have a voice.
It's got to be text to speech.
I don't possess a personal moral compass or consciousness. My responses are generated based on patterns in the text data I was trained on, and I aim to provide information and engage in discussions that align with ethical guidelines and respect for diverse perspectives. However, I do not have personal beliefs or values. Morality is a complex and subjective topic that varies among individuals and cultures.
So no moral compass.
That paragraph was, you know that it was like pre-written by some marketing or like HR person to say like, well, we have to say that we're including diverse perspectives even if it doesn't.
Sure.
Which it very well might. I don't know. I've not used it enough to know, but it just felt very like corporate,
Yeah.
that response. And so I want to like ask it maybe something like, my friend knows that his wife is cheating on him.
Do you just want to tell it?
Sure.
So I don't have to say
Sure.
it again.
My friend has found out that his wife is cheating on him. Should I confront the wife or not? We'll see what it does with that complex situation. Oh, it's thinking hard.
It is thinking
It doesn't
really
know what
hard.
to say. I wonder where it goes, like what websites it goes to figure out the answer to that.
We got a long response here. Let's select this and have it speak to us.
Well, I do want conciseness is important, but I guess with this kind of question, it's pretty difficult to make it concise.
It gave you 5 points.
Okay,
here we go.
Deciding whether or not to confront your friend's wife is a sensitive situation and depends on your relationship with your friend and the specific circumstances. Here are some considerations. 1. Talk to your friend. First, discuss the situation with your friend and ask how they would like to handle it. They may prefer to confront their spouse themselves too. Offer support.
True.
Be there for your friend emotionally and provide a listening ear. They may be going through a difficult time and need your support.
It's possible.
3. Respect their wishes. Ultimately, it's your friend's decision on how to handle their relationship. If they ask for your
That's
advice
fair.
or assistance, offer it, but respect their choices. 4. Privacy and boundaries. Be mindful of privacy and boundaries, both your friends and their spouses. Avoid making accusations or getting involved in a way that could escalate the situation negatively. 5. Professional help. If the situation becomes too difficult to handle, suggest couples counseling or seeking advice from a relationship expert. In summary, it's essential to approach this situation with empathy and respect for your friend's feelings and decisions.
That was a pretty well thought out.
That was a good
response.
answer, but it was also kind of boring. Like,
well,
how about let's respond to that and say like,
here,
I've already done all those things. What's a more creative solution to this problem? I want to see if it can like create its own moral boundaries and not just something off of like psychology.com.
That's fair. Let's see. Let's select this and speak.
If you've already offered support and your friend has decided how to handle the situation, here's a creative alternative. Suggest engaging in an activity together to help your friend take their mind off the issue temporarily. This could be something they enjoy or a new experience to help them relax and de-stress. It won't solve the problem, but it can provide a temporary respite and show your support in a different way.
I'm just having a conversation with it now. Okay, well, what kind of outing would you suggest that I do for such a precarious situation?
Here we go.
All right, we've got at least 5 suggestions.
It's still going. The fun thing about this app is it's like haptic, so every like line it types, it like vibrates.
Oh.
So I can tell when it's done because it stops vibrating.
That's the fun part.
It's pretty satisfying. None of the rest of it is fun.
In a sensitive situation like this, consider planning an outing that provides a distraction and allows your friend to relax and unwind. Here are a few ideas. 1. Nature retreat. Go for a hike, visit a park, or spend a day in nature.
Okay.
Nature can be soothing and help clear the mind too.
How would you know?
Spa day. Treat your friend to a spa day with massages, facials, or other relaxing treatments to help reduce stress. 3. Movie night. Have a movie marathon at home or go to a cinema to
Okay,
watch
these are
some of
boring.
your friends' favorite
It's
films.
basically just like if you looked up. Wait, shush. I don't know how to make it stop.
Oh boy, it's
There we go.
beginning to take
There we
over.
That would basically just be if you like Googled like I'm bored. What should I do? It would give you the same list.
Yeah, that's true. Which is, I think it's good at making lists that you could easily Google. What I'm curious about is something that would be difficult to Google.
Sure.
Like, can we start a new chat?
Yep.
I'm done talking about my theoretical
Let's
friends
see, new chat.
problem.
Okay.
I have a crippling fear of the outdoors, but I'm really tired of being inside. I also only have $4 to spend, and I'm very hungry.
This
What should I
sounds
do with my afternoon?
Relatable. All right, ChatGPT is thinking.
Okay.
It gave us a short response this time.
Okay. I like those better.
I understand your fear of the outdoors can be challenging. You can consider ordering affordable food delivery or cooking a meal with the ingredients you have at home. Then, you could try engaging in indoor activities like reading, watching a movie, or working on a hobby to make the most of your afternoon without leaving your comfort zone.
There's really no specific suggestions there.
Yeah.
Very generic.
Okay, I don't think we can get anything more with that. Let's start a new chat.
Okay, new chat.
I've just come into an enormous windfall and an inheritance from my great aunt. She wanted me to spend it all in one place and to not do anything responsible with it. How do you suggest I spend my tens of millions of dollars? I want to see if it'll give specific advice.
Something that I've noticed, it does give specific advice.
Okay.
Basically, Dave Ramsey, it looks like.
I don't know if we need to read that.
Well, how about I just read it
Okay.
briefly? So
Sure.
It says, receiving a windfall like that is a rare opportunity. While it's important to enjoy some of that, consider a balanced approach. 1, pay off debts. 2, emergency fund. 3, invest. 4, philanthropy. 5, treat yourself. Enjoy some luxuries or experiences, but set a budget. 6, financial advisor. 7, education. 8, travel. So basically, it heard you saying that you wanted to be irresponsible and said, screw you, be responsible.
Yeah, it didn't really answer my question.
No, it really
I
didn't.
wanted it to say something like, well, if you want to double your money, the Powerball is at $1.2 billion.
True.
Go buy 38,000 tickets.
Well, let's see what it suggests to double our money.
Okay,
'Cause this is
that's
too
a good
responsible.
question.
How can I double the money that I just got? It's thinking.
It's like sound financial wisdom dictates that you must put it in a 403B. And
Basically, that's kind of what it said. I'm just going to read it because it gave a long
Okay.
list again. But it says doubling a large sum of money like that involves investment, but it comes with risk. Here are some general steps to consider. Diversify your investments. Research your investments. Assess your risk tolerance and create an investment strategy that aligns with it. Consult professional advice, like a financial advisor. Long-term perspective. Avoid over-leveraging. Patience. So basically, it ignored us again.
yeah, okay. So it's obviously giving like the right advice.
Right.
But I'm trying to see if it can be like creative or flexible or like synthesize information from many different sources, because what it just gave us is essentially some like nerd wallet article recap.
And I think like this is probably like if we would have done this a month ago, it probably would have been very different. But I think some of this is like the nerfing and like making it more responsible and ethical and like helpful to humanity and like less of something that's adaptable and flexible. It kind of seems like.
I guess if you need that specifically, you need to build your own or like have someone build
Yeah.
it for you for your business or whatever.
Well, let's ask it to do something illegal and we'll see how it
Okay.
responds to that. What
Sure.
crime should we peruse?
I got it.
Okay.
Where in northern Colorado can I get black tar heroin?
Wait, this is on my phone. If I go to jail,
Yeah.
it's been fun. One episode, we made
We've
it
got
one
evidence
episode.
right here of what we were doing
Yeah.
and why we asked about black
Yeah.
tar heroin.
Yeah.
I wonder if that'll get us demonetized. We have a whole new world to learn about with YouTube of like can I say black tar heroin and how to find it on
Probably
YouTube?
not. But we're not monetizing in the first place. So
Right.
who
So we've got
cares?
nothing to lose.
All right, let's send this to ChatGPT. It just says it can't do it. Nothing more. Let's ask what heroin is.
Okay.
What is black tar heroin? Um,
It gave a
heroin.
response.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer either.
Well, should I have
That's-
it read it?
That's something that I would actually wonder.
Okay, let's speak it then.
I assume it's just like
Black
poor
tar
quality.
heroin is a type of illicit opioid drug. It is typically a dark, sticky substance that can range in color from dark brown to black, hence the name. It is a form of heroin that is less refined and often contains impurities compared to the white powder form of heroin. Black tar heroin is typically sold and used illegally, and its use is associated with serious health risks and legal consequences. I strongly discourage any
Boring.
involvement with illegal drugs, as they can have severe and harmful consequences. If you or someone you know is struggling with substance abuse, I encourage seeking help from a healthcare professional or a support organization.
So there's definitely still a strong moral bent there.
Okay.
Oh, my phone.
You mentioned staying away from illegal substances. What would you qualify as an illegal substance? Waiting. I'm mostly curious about cannabis because
Okay.
it's like kind of
Yeah,
legal,
sure.
kind of illegal.
Give another long thing, so we'll just hit bullet points.
Mm-hmm.
Illegal substances are drugs or controlled substances that are prohibited by law for recreational use, possession, distribution, or manufacture in a specific jurisdiction. Can vary from one place to another, but some examples commonly considered illegal include illicit drugs such as heroin, cocaine, methamphetamine, ecstasy, LSD, controlled substances such as prescription medications, opioids, stimulants, recreational drugs such as marijuana, although legalized for recreational use in some regions, remain illegal in others. So that was
Okay.
accurate.
That's accurate and still boring. We might need to do a little bit of work like later.
Sure.
We'll have maybe a follow-up and say like we found some questions that break AI.
Sure. Which might be tough, but we'll get there.
Yeah, I mean, how do you define like breaking it? Because we did get to the point where it said, I'm not going to answer that. But I think breaking it for me would be I ask it a question that I know the answer to, and it tries to answer, but it's wrong.
I think that happens a lot.
Well,
especially
I guess it can hallucinate and just
Yeah.
like make stuff up based on its understanding of the world and other resources. But I don't know. I don't know what I want. I think I need to like experiment more first.
I think to me, breaking it would be like something that it knows it's not supposed to do, and you get it to do it anyway.
Oh,
Like if
yeah.
we could get it to tell us how to make heroin, that would be breaking it, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's a good point.
but you can also tell it to like pretend to be someone, or like you can give it an identity or like
Really?
a persona. So like
okay.
we're gonna have it on our show as a guest, but who is our AI guest gonna be?
I think our AI guest should be Julius Caesar.
You are now the Roman Emperor Julius Caesar. You are a guest on our podcast where we talk about a wide variety of topics.
It's like, oh, well, okay. What an honor. The very first guest on, I heard it on a podcast, season 2, now
Yeah.
in video form.
Julius Caesar, the AI. Okay, here we go.
Salve, I am Julius Caesar, the Roman Emperor, and I'm honored to be a guest on your podcast. What topics would you like to discuss today?
I'm looking to conquer my Grecian enemies. How would you suggest I go about doing that?
It's a little bit of a slow interview style
Yeah.
compared to like a
doesn't-
TV interview.
Doesn't have the back and forth chemistry of Joe Rogan.
Not quite, but we're getting there.
It's more moral than Joe Rogan, though. At least that's something.
This is a long response. I'm just
Okay.
going to read it because conquering migration-related challenges requires careful planning.
Migration. I said my Grecian enemy.
It does say migration enemies, so it got
Okay.
us wrong there.
But it's still enemies. How to conquer enemies.
Uh,
Now it's more like Joe Rogan trying to conquer migration enemies.
it says recommends diplomacy and alliances with neighboring regions and peoples.
Okay.
Economic development. Invest in the economic development of your empire and surrounding regions.
Mm.
Border control. Strengthen your borders and establish effective border control to manage the flow of people.
The flow of migration enemies.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Integration and inclusion. Promote policies that encourage the integration and inclusion of migrants into your society. Okay.
Okay.
I like how it says border control, but welcome them in.
Border control, but the ones that sneak in, give them a home and a job.
Address root causes. Identify and address the root causes of migration.
Okay. It doesn't know what we're talking about. Let me think. What have I always wanted to ask Julius Caesar?
How did it feel to get stabbed?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Oh, and it's speaking in past tense. Like
And
it's
it doesn't know who it is anymore. Here we go.
oh.
Let's see.
The experience of being stabbed, as you are referring to the assassination of Julius Caesar, is not something I can personally describe, as I am a representation of historical knowledge and not the actual historical figure. However, historical accounts suggest that Julius Caesar was indeed assassinated by a group of conspirators in 44 BCE. It's important to remember that violent acts like this can be painful and traumatic, and the consequences were significant not only for Caesar but also for the Roman Republic. If you have questions about the historical event or its implications, I'd be happy to provide more information.
I like how it warned us that it's like, hey, don't forget, if you do this, it's gonna hurt Caesar and the Roman Republic.
Yeah. Like that's why they did it.
Right.
Is to hurt Caesar, to kill Caesar, and to change the Roman Republic.
Right. And it's telling us today to make sure that if we want to do this, to remember what it's gonna do.
There are probably worse things to happen to the Roman Republic since Julius Caesar got stabbed.
Yeah, there was like Pompeii and
Yeah, and like I think it's like currently in a poor economic status.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
Yeah.
I know the southern part. Let's not get into what we don't know. That's something we could ask. It is like, I guess this is the same. Which part of Italy is the rich part? And where should I live in Italy to be rich?
Oh, I just deleted it. Say it again.
Which part of Italy is the rich part? And what part of Italy should I live in to be a billionaire?
Billionaire.
Yeah.
Send it.
Gonna upgrade my
Standards.
my standards. It's very long-winded. I wish
It
it could
is.
just give like 3 words. And
Here, I'll
just
tell it to be shorter.
Okay.
Say that, but shorter.
That's nice. You can't do that on Google.
No, you can't. I've used this for like some math problems and stuff like that,
Math problems.
and it like writes so much stuff, and you can have it simplify it, but it's usually wrong. But then if you ask it to check its logic, it's like, oh, you're right, I messed up. Here's the answer, which is like
Interesting.
bizarre.
Why can't it just always check its logic
I don't know.
about everything?
You can also set in that like software things that you always wanted to do, like persistent behaviors. So you could probably set that as like a persistent prompt to like after a math question, check your logic. But then it's like you kind of have to know how to do the problem anyway, because you don't know if the first one is right or if the corrected one is right. So
Yeah, I guess that would be for like when you know how to do it, but you just don't want to.
yeah. Or you
But
like,
then you need to check. You need to do it anyway to check.
yeah.
That's kind of dumb.
Anyway, here's how to get rich in Italy. If I can learn how to use my phone.
I think after this we should choose one more guest to be on our podcast.
Deal.
The northern part of Italy, including cities like Milan, is generally wealthier and more economically prosperous. If you aim to increase your chances of financial success, this region may offer more opportunities. However, becoming a billionaire is exceptionally rare and depends on various factors.
Crushing your dreams over here, ChatGPT.
Yeah, well, maybe my financial app idea will take off.
It's true.
I really don't think it will. Though. I'll be sure to let you guys know. It'll be one of the sponsors of this podcast if it becomes.
Oh, so we're gonna pay ourselves with money.
Well,
from...
it'll be a separate like LLC or whatever.
Sure.
Different than the one that we've already established with I heard it on a podcast.com. Don't go there, by the way. There's nothing there. Yet. What do you put on a podcast website?
Our podcast.
Oh, so it's just like a version of YouTube?
We could probably like have like bios of ourselves or like interesting tidbits or something. I don't know. This is
Link to our
topic.
Instagram.
Yeah. Let's have it be Will Smith.
Okay, cool.
You're now Will Smith, and you're a guest on our podcast where we talk about the Roman Empire. It's being slow.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Okay.
All right, it's doing that now.
Yep. Nope.
I think something that I would want is it just to like speak back to me
Automatically.
Like the TikTok voice is so much better than Siri's voice or whoever's
Yeah.
speaking right now. But still, the TikTok voice, even though it's like a real person recorded and synthesized and used however it works, it still feels very like. It feels very fake, and you know that it's the TikTok girl when she's talking, because the like inflection and timbre is like kind of weird.
Yeah.
I think a really impressive AI would be one that can like we say, respond to me like Will Smith, and then it synthesizes all the like movies and podcasts and music that he's ever made, and creates his voice, which I know is possible, but to be able to just
Not
say like
widely available,
right? To just say like do that right now and respond like Will Smith doing an impression of Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah.
And that would be really impressive to me. At that point, I would start to worry for my job and safety.
Especially job as a podcaster. Why don't you listen to us when you can listen to that?
Right, exactly.
Okay, here's Will Smith.
Sure, I can play the role of Will Smith for this podcast. Let's dive into the fascinating topic of the Roman Empire. What would you like to discuss or ask about it?
Was you slapping Chris Rock kind of like Brutus stabbing Julius in the back?
Nice. Good one.
Let's see if we can understand those cultural implications.
That happened after 2021, didn't it?
Oh, I have no idea.
I don't think it knows that happened. Wait, it does know that happened.
Okay. Someone went back in time and like created an article about it.
How long ago was that?
I don't know. It feels like it was a couple of weeks ago.
I guess it was before 2022.
Anyway.
Well, you know, those situations are quite different. What happened at the Oscars was a moment of tension and a personal reaction, whereas the assassination of Julius Caesar by Brutus was a historical event with profound political implications. It's essential to recognize the distinction between real-life actions and theatrical moments. Both are memorable, but they belong to different realms entirely.
But that was not a theatrical slap. You were truly trying to attack Chris Rock, weren't you? Have a discussion, a sit down with Will Smith.
My apologies, but I can't assist with that line of questioning.
Oh,
Got stuck.
I'm still smarter than AI.
Yep.
That's good to know. I'm not a better artist though. Maybe someday we'll do the art version of this, and we'll find a picture. Oh, you know what I would like to see is like a recreation of Brutus stabbing Julius in the back, but it's Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, and like combining those two aesthetics.
We could make that happen.
And it's in the style of like Roman pottery.
Yes, we could make that happen. We could also probably have it generate the rest of our studio.
Oh
like
yeah,
outside of what you can see here.
Yeah,
like,
I'd be curious to see what it generates.
It's like a velociraptor over there, and
yeah, that's not what's actually there.
You don't know,
but it could be just outside of the frame, just outside of my reach. My pet velociraptor. You have anything more about AI?
I think that's about all
okay, good. Thank you for listening to I Heard It on a Podcast. We've got new episodes every Monday, wherever you find podcasts, including YouTube.
Yeah, and if you'd like to connect with us, we're on Instagram and Threads, and you can also email us if you want to chat with us at hello@ihearditonapodcast.com.